Shilpa Shastras literally means the science of Ilpa. It is an ancient umbrella term for numerous Hindu texts that describe arts, crafts, and the design rules, principles and standards. In the context of temple design, Shilpa Shastras were manuals for sculpture and Hindu iconography, prescribing among other things the proportions of a sculptured figure, composition, principles, meaning, as well as rules of architecture. 64 techniques for such arts or crafts, sometimes called bāhya-kalā, external or practical arts, are traditionally enumerated, including carpentry, architecture, jewellery, farriery, acting, dancing, music, medicine, poetry, etc. Besides 64 are abhyantara-kalā or secret arts, which include mostly erotic arts, such as kissing, embracing, etc. While Shilpa and Vastu-Shastras are related, Shilpa Shastras deal with arts and crafts such as forming statues, icons, stone murals, painting, carpentry, pottery, jewellery, dyeing, textiles and others. The Vastu-Shastras deal with building architecture, building houses, forts, temples, apartments, village and town layout, etc. Description. Shilpa refers to any art or craft in ancient Indian texts, while Shastra means science. Together, Shilpa Shastra means the science of art and crafts. The ancient Sanskrit texts use the term ilpin and ilpini for artists and craftsperson, while ilpini refers to works of arts of man. The meaning of Shilpa, according to Stella Kamrish, is complex. She writes that it consists of art, skill, craft, labor, ingenuity, rite and ritual, form and creation. Quote, "The range of crafts encompassed by the term Shilpa extends to every aspect of culture, includes sculptor, the potter, the perfumer, the wheelwright, the painter, the weaver, the architect, the dancer, the musician, the arts of love, and others." Ancient Indian texts assert that the number of the arts is unlimited. They deploy 64 kala and 32 vidyas. Shilpa is discussed in Nagamasth Puranas and Vastu Shastra, where it is linked to the mythology of Visvakarma. Shilpa Shastra in painting. Shilpa Shastras include chapters on paintings, both miniature and large. For example, Narad Shilpa Shastra dedicates chapters 66 and 71 to painting, while Saraswati Shilpa Shastra describes various types of chitra, Adar-chitra, Chitrabhasa, Varna-samskara. Other ancient Shilpa Shastra on painting include Vishnudharmatra Purana and Citralaksana. Former is available in Sanskrit, while the only surviving copies of latter are in Tibetan. These Sanskrit treatises discuss the following aspects of a painting: measurement, proportions, perspective of the view, mudra, emotions, and rasa. Such an approach of Indian paintings, states Isabella Nardi, makes Shilpa Shastra not only canonical textual sources but also a means to transmit knowledge and spiritual themes. Shilpa Shastra in carpentry. The first adhyaya of Shilpa Shastra Manasara discusses the measurement principles for carpentry. The 9th century version of Mayamada text of Tamil Nadu and 16th century version of Shilparatna of Odisha describe Taksaka and Vardaki as wood Shilpins. Taksaka possesses the knowledge of wood types and practices the art of cutting wood, while Vardaki possesses the knowledge of wood forms and practices the art of carpentry. One of the earliest mentions of carpentry arts is in Book 9, Chapter 112 of Rigveda. Carpentry was also an essential Shilpa Shastra during the construction of a Hindu temple. Shilpa Shastra in metallurgy. The Vedas, in particular Atharva Veda and Sthapatya Veda, describe many kinds of arts and crafts in the discussion of Shilpa Shastra and Yantra Sarvasava. The Rig Veda, states Ravi, mentions equipment used in casting, such as dharmatri, Gama-ara and Maya and Bastri. These discussions are in the context of making idols, and describe rules to achieve best manner, Shastra and bhava. Sanskrit texts such as Silparatna and Manasara describe in detail the process and principles for artwork with metals, particularly for alloys such as Panchadhatu and Ashtadhatu. Madhuchista Vidhana casting process is the most discussed process in these ancient Shilpa Shastras with metals. Kirk suggests that these Shastras diffused from India to other ancient cultures in Asia. While there is empirical evidence of high-purity metallurgy and artworks with other metals, some ancient Shilpa Shastras have been lost. For example, the 5th century iron pillar of Delhi, which stands 23 feet, weighs 6 tons and contains 99.72% iron without showing any signs of rust, is empirical evidence of the state of metallurgical arts in 5th century India. Shilpa Shastra education in ancient India. Birth was no barrier. All arts were the domain of all classes, castes and both genders in ancient India. The ancient texts of Parasara states that all crafts were practiced by anyone irrespective of family's occupation. The Buddhist Jatakas mention Brahmin carpenters. The 4th century text Baudhayana describes chariot builders, carpenters, brickworkers, potters and metal workers from people classified as Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Sutta describes builders and wheelwrights born to Shudra father and Brahmin mother, who by later texts would be described as untouchables. The goldsmiths of Maharashtra included children born in cattle-herding families. Apprenticeship apprentices joined and trained under masters. The best were adopted and recognized as members of various art guilds. The training began from childhood and included studies about dharma, culture, reading, writing, mathematics, geometry, colors, tools, as well as trade secrets. These were called tradition. Guilds. Shilpins had formed many in ancient India. Each guild formed its own laws and code of conduct, one the ancient Hindu and Buddhist kings of India respected by tradition. In some cases, the king established the laws of the guilds. In some cases, the king's treasurer had the final word and served as judge of various guilds in a kingdom. These guilds, in 1st millennium AD, included all those who practiced the art irrespective of the artist's caste or creed. The income of each guild came from fees paid by new members joining the guild, from fines on those violating the code of conduct established by the guild, and levies on tools used for that art. The guilds also performed charity and gifted collective works of art by the members to temples and other social works. During festivals and social celebrations, each guild would contribute their own performance and pavilions with flags and emblems. Art is spiritual creative work, and artists were granted the sanctions of a sacrament in ancient Indian culture, states Stella Kramrisch. An artist expresses the spiritual and holiness in his or her art. This belief continues to manifest itself in modern India in the form of rituals, where in an autumn festival, craftsmen in parts of India worship the tools with incense, flowers and unhusked rice. Rate Samhita et verses 57.10-11 describes the practice of carpenters offering prayers and seeking forgiveness of a tree before cutting it for wood. The axe used to cut the tree would be rubbed with honey and butter to minimize the hurt to the tree, which was considered to be a living being. Craft was seen as application of essence of Purusha to parts of nature so as to transform it into a work of art. Treatises on Shilpa Shastras. Some known Shilpa Shastras related manuscripts include